everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we have a topper from UPSC Civil Services Exam 2022. She is none other than Aashna Chaudhary, who has scored All India rank 116 in the Civil Services Examination 2022. So today we are going to interact with Miss Aashna Chaudhary. We are going to understand about her preparation journey. We will interact with her to learn about like what she has to say about those candidates who are aspiring to become a civil servant. So Aashna, welcome to Lukmaan IAS.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So Aashna, introduce yourself to us and to the candidate. Like, where do you come from? What was your academic background before starting preparation for the civil services?
All right, I'm Aashna Chaudhary, and I come from a town in Uttar Pradesh which is called Pilkhua. It's around fairly about 60 kilometers from Delhi. And I have done my schooling from Delhi Public School, Ghaziabad. Post that, I have studied English literature at Lady Shri Ram College for Women. And currently, I'm doing my master's in international relations from South Asian University. Meanwhile, I have also been able to clear the exam with a rank of 116.
So, Aashna, like, what motivated you to prepare for civil services and aspire for a career in the civil services?
In the civil services, basically, I was after my graduation, I was thinking of taking a gap year, and before I pursue my masters, which I also did. However, the challenge was to fill that gap year with something productive, and that productive which came to my mind was civil services. And I started looking at the syllabus, listening to various interviews, and that's how I got excited about the preparation and the journey. Post that, I delved into it, and when I studied deeper and deeper, I realized this is a very fulfilling career one could engage in, and that's how I ended up getting into the services.
So, when we talk about the syllabus of UPSC, many candidates have this notion that the syllabus is very vast. I mean, before starting preparation, they think like, it's a big mountain to cross. So, how did you, let's say, manage to cover the syllabus of UPSC?
The essential practice to cover the syllabus of UPSC is to delimit the syllabus. When there is a lot on your plate, you try to cut down what is not very necessary. And however, to know what is not necessary, you need to have read your syllabus thoroughly. You need to have read your sources thoroughly, and then with each succeeding reading, you convince yourself that that this is the portion you can leave behind easily. And that's how, till the time you reach the real experience of the examination, you have actually left out a lot. So it's a practice of delimiting your sources.
All right. So, how did you carve out a plan of study for yourself? I mean, like, you have prepared for a short while for the civil services and you have managed to get a very high rank in the civil services. So, how did you plan your studies for civil services?
I would try to make short goals rather than making an overarching goal, which I knew I would never be able to complete. So I would rather make smaller goals, try to achieve each goal in the time frame that I have decided for that. I would decide daily goals as well, which would comprise mostly 6 to 8 hours of my time. And that's how I tried to complete them. So the strategy has never been an overarching strategy. However, I have tried to complete things in a short span so that I have enough time for revision left with me.
All right. So when it comes to the preparation of the prelims examination, most of the candidates are failing at this stage itself. Like huge number of candidates are applying for civil services. Majority of them get, rejected at the prelims stage itself. So how did you plan for your prelims examination? How did you, let's say, cover the syllabus of prelims?
I would say I am more geared to answer that question because I have faced 3 prelims, 1 mains and 1 interview. So prelims is the stage wherein I have the most experience by virtue of failure, I would say. But yes, initially I would say I was treating prelims as a as a factual examination with a test of how much you know. So my natural strategy was to acquire as much knowledge as I can. But later on, I realized that practice is more important in order to be able to clear prelims, because it is not only a test of the factual part, but also tests your elimination skills and your analytical skills that help you identify the wrong options. So it is not only about the right options, but also the wrong options as well.
So for the mains examination, one needs to do a huge amount of answer writing practice. And since mains examination comprises of 9 papers that needs to be written in a conventional manner, you need to write exams in the mains exam. So how did you start your preparation for the mains exam? What was your answer writing strategy? Did you adopt any technique for writing answers for the mains exam?
My strategy for mains has been to integrate the practice as well as the knowledge part of it. So I would study a subject, and immediately after studying it, I would also write answers. So the practice component was also very prominent in my mains preparation. Talking about whether I adopted a strategy, yes, I would actually see the questions, and then I would identify the various components of that question. So first of all, I tried to answer every component so that my marks do not get reduced there. So I would not leave out any component. For this, I would underline the components, the various components of the question in the question itself, and I would answer those elements in the same manner in which the question demands them. So that makes my task easier and manageable as well.
So, when it comes to ethics as a subject, how did you prepare for ethics? And also, like, what helped you, let's say, writing your answers in the ethics paper?
Ethics preparation, I would say the theory part of it, I have prepared majorly from S. Ansari sir's videos, which are available. So I would attribute most of the bit of my success to S. Ansari sir for having helped me with the theory part of ethics. Talking about, then I would supplement them with current affairs, newspapers to provide examples for the same. And case studies, also I try to keep it simple by reducing it to the following components.
All right. So, after the mains exam is over, so very less amount of time is left for the interview part. So this year, when you have finished your mains examination, like what thought process came in your mind? Like, did you feel that like you are going to make it for the personality test? And did you start preparing for the personality test just after writing the mains?
I would rather disagree with you here. So it is between the mains examination and the interview that I find there is the most gap compared to prelims and mains, which come rather closer to each other. So I was getting restless. I just wanted to get done with the interview process so that I feel comparatively relieved. So interview process has not bugged me all that, but the time span for which I had to wait to give an actual interview or to appear for an actual interview was rather challenging.
So, like, what message would you give to those aspirants who are aspiring to become a civil servant like you? Maybe like you are going to into service, so they are also aspiring for a career in the civil services. So, what will be your message to them?
My message to them would be that they do not compartmentalize their knowledge. They need to integrate their knowledge. All that they need, all that they know, they need to bring it together and then create a whole, rather than compartmentalizing knowledge into GS1, GS2, GS3, and GS4. That is not required. You need to supplement your static portion with current portion. A newspaper cannot be compromised upon. It's a very, very, very important aspect of all the three processes: prelims, mains, and interview. You need to also manage your stress levels, because this exam is very taxing. So yes, you need to manage your stress levels as well. So I would suggest that you pursue a hobby. So these are the general suggestions that I would provide to the candidates.
Okay, so now you raised a very important and interesting thing which is hobby. Many a times, like people who are preparing for the civil services examination, they feel that like most of their time goes into reading books, preparing for the exam. So like what hobbies, I mean, did you pursue? Pursue in the sense like what hobbies do you have? And many candidates have this notion like do we need to start pursuing some hobby in order to mention it in the DAF?
Yeah.
So what is your view on that?
No. I do not believe that you need to cook up a hobby in order to put it on your DAF. You need to actually have something else other than UPSC. It's okay if you like lying idle and not doing anything. In spite the preparation, that's okay. That is for your sanity. You need to identify what keeps you sane. It could be as trivial as lying down and doing nothing, or it could be a very nuanced hobby like sculpting. So it's okay. You need to identify whatever keeps your sanity and make that your hobby. That will help you during the process, during the entire process, and not just inventing a fancy hobby for the interview process.
Right. So thank you so much, Aashna, for interacting with us today and sharing your views with the aspirants at large who are going to watch this video, and they're definitely going to admire you for the for the guidance that you have provided to them through your insights, through your experience of preparing for the civil services. We hope it's going to be beneficial for them. And we thank from the team of Lukmaan IAS to Aashna Chaudhary for coming to Lukmaan IAS and interacting with us and sharing her views with these aspirants out there.
Thank you so much.